Hello. In this video I'm just going to give you a short demonstration of some of the new features that are going to be available in the new ABF technology systems that we're building at the moment, and it's going to focus on sort of different ways we'll have to pay for our bridge. But just to start with, to show you the sort of front screen, I'm logged in here as myself and we're on what we're calling the dashboard, so the home page. This may look familiar if some of you saw some of the demonstrations that we did last year. The difference now is that this is actually the live system that we're actually building. So down the left here I've got a navigation panel where I can move around between the different areas of the system, and some people will have different access rights to different things if they're like a tournament organizer or club administrator or something like that. Across the top here I've got sort of quick shortcut views of certain things, master points here, bridge events here, and payments here. That's where we'll spend most of our time in a moment. And in the middle here, this isn't built yet, but this will be where you'll be able to see your bridge results and your upcoming events. And down the bottom here you'll be able to get assorted news items from states and clubs, and also a bridge forum. So focusing on payments here though, if I go into my ABF dollar statement, which is currently empty of course, ABF dollars are sort of a new concept. It's basically like just running a bridge account if you want to do so. You won't have to. You can still pay for your bridge in exactly the same way as you do today. You'll be able to use a credit card to pay online just like you do with eWay if you're entering a national event. But if you do want to use an ABF account, you'll have that option. So I'll just show one or two of the things we can do. Firstly, I can put some money on my account. I can do that with this top up. So here I'm going to set, let's say I'm going to put $150 on my account. We've set a minimum here of $50. So I top up. That takes me to a credit card payment screen. This is actually a screen generated by a company called Stripe, which is a third-party payments provider that we have partnered up with. So I'm just going to put a test credit card number in here. So that'll go through, and if I come back to my statement now, you'll see that I've put $150 onto my account. So having done that, well, what can I do with it? Well, firstly, let's say we want to enter a congress. Now this test payment screen we got here, this isn't going to exist in the live system. This is just purely so we can test payments. What you'll actually do, of course, is you'll be on a different screen where you're entering a bridge event and you'll click pay there. We're just going to simulate what that'll do here. So suppose I want to pay $45 for a Congress entry. Let's say it's Congress A, and it's run by, let's say, Canberra Bridge Club. I put that through. I've paid already because I've got money on my account. If I go to my payments, there I see it coming out, $45. My balance goes down, and Canberra Bridge Club will obviously get the credit the other side of that entry. So that's one thing I can do. Another thing I can do is pay a friend or transfer funds to somebody else. So let's say my partner's entered and they've paid for me and I want to reimburse them. So I don't have to do it in real money anymore, I can do it here. If I do pay a friend, I can look up their name, let's say in this case Mark Guthrie. Incidentally, once you have found somebody and done this, it will remember who you've transferred funds to, so you can just select them from a list in future, because most of the time we're playing with the same partners and teammates, so it's something that's going to come up quite commonly. So let's say that was for Congress B. I click transfer, and again I've paid a transfer to Mark. Back on my payment screen, there's pay a friend, Mark Guthrie. And in Mark's account, obviously, we'll see plus 45 coming through there as well. So that's the sort of stuff I can do manually. What I can also do is what we've called here auto top up. If I turn that on, that's basically allowing this to operate a bit like one of the public transport cards. So I can put money on my account, or set how much I want it to top up by each time. Here's defaulting to 100. I can set up the card that I want this to get charged through. I'll use that same test one again. We put that through. Success, my card details have been recorded. And if we go back to our payments, our account here is still at 60, and that's because it hasn't gone down yet below the low balance threshold, and we've set that at $20. So basically, when your account goes below 20, it will then top up by whatever amount you set it to do so. You can see we've got the setup there. If I want to go back and change the details at any point, I can. I just click that and I can change the amounts, or I can change the card. So let's now put another payment through. Remember, I've got 60 on my account at the moment. So let's say another Congress, also $45. Congress, I think we're up to C this time. Let's say the NSWBA, Congress. So we got 60 on our account, so that 45 is going to take us down to 15. So this time, when I do that, the 45 goes through, but the system automatically triggers this top up as well. So I get to back to my screen here. There's my $45 entry going out. My balance is down to 15. So it's topped up automatically by the 100, and I'm back to 115. And that'll keep happening as long as I have this setting on. So basically I won't need to worry about my bridge. If I want to turn it off at any point, I can do. I just get this screen. Well, this will stop. Am I sure? Well, on this occasion, no, but I could if I wish to. We'll come back out of that and we leave it on. So that's an example of once we've got that in place, the system will basically just top up the funds for you. One last thing I'll show you, and this at the moment is in an Excel spreadsheet model because we haven't built it in the system yet, but this is mocking up what would happen if I wanted to enter a Teams event. And this is a mock-up of what the entry screen is going to look like in future. We have myself, who's already logged in as the entry contact, got the other players in place. I've got a promo code thing here. That's basically to allow me to put in discounts. Let's say that's a youth player. That will halve their entry fee. So it's showing how much is due for the team, and I can choose who I want to pay for. Now, most of the time, one person's going to pay for everybody. So let's assume I'm doing that. I can tick that, select everybody, and it tells me how much is due. Then I have to select how I'm going to pay. So on here, I've still got the same options as usual. I can use a credit card online, I can use bank transfer, all the normal stuff, but I can also use my ABF dollar account. And that will trigger a payment out of my ABF dollar account for $525. And once that's happened, it'll go through and the green indicates the payment is all done. If we just go back into the system and mock up what would happen if I did that, so if I go here and I put in 525 for Congress E, let's say, and it's WBA, and it's a Congress. So you might think, well, hang on a minute, I've only got 115 on my account, we're trying to pay 525, and it's only going to top up by 100. That would be pretty annoying, of course. It would need to top up 4 or 5 times before we had enough money on our account. So in a case like this, it's actually set up to just treat this like a separate transaction. So we get a successful payment of 525, and the system will basically just top us up by that amount initially. So it'll leave your account unchanged and treat it like a special case. But again, that will just all happen automatically if you've got the auto top up in place. So that's just an example of some of the things that will be available in future. Obviously there's a lot more to the system that we're in the process of still building, but when this is released, which at this stage we're looking at probably early next year, these are some of the options you'll have. So I hope that was helpful, and I will return with some other videos as we have more stuff built. Thank you.